Welcome to the Doc G Show, a radio show cluster. Without further ado, critics have said he has the face for radio and a voice for silent films. Your host, Ben Doc G Gordon.
And we are on the air. Welcome to the Doc G Show. I'm your host, Doc G. With me, as always, the one, the only, Mikey Maximus, the debonair Daddy Charette.
DOC to the single G. What's up, sir?
Nothing much, man. I put too much emphasis on every single one of your syllables there in the introduction.
So true. We could tell.
You know, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Debonair.
I don't know what that means. What's that mean? Debonair.
Oh my gosh, we're now on a vocab list.
Yeah, I love it.
For the rest of the show. What was the one from last week?
Indelible.
Nice, Mike.
Yeah.
Nice.
I love it. Yeah.
Way to study. Way to study. Listeners, if you didn't listen to last week, shame on you. Indelible. And if you don't know what it is, I'm not telling you. Nope. You look it up. Yeah. You do it. Mike, debonair means essentially like classy. Okay. Like you're real. Like it's a elevated state.
I try to be.
Regal, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
Debonair. You know?
Thanks, man.
I like it.
I do too.
That could be, we were talking about this before the show. That could be a top 3 right there. Top 3 celebrities that are debonair. Right? Who's the classiest? Who just exudes classiness, you know?
Yeah.
I feel
anybody
like
come to mind that maybe wouldn't be in your top 3 that would be a good example?
Well, I mean, this could be in my top 3, but I'll just throw it out there.
Right.
Sean Connery, you know? Like Sean Connery, when he was alive, of course, he was James Bond, for Christ's sakes.
Okay.
He just looked super classy.
Yeah, he does.
You saw him, and you were like, oh, my God, he's so put together,
Okay.
you know?
Debonair. All right.
Yeah. Regal. Mike, I'll tell you another one that sometimes he's debonair. That'd be Harrison Ford, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes. But I'm not bringing up Harrison Ford because he's all the time debonair. I'm bringing it up because I saw an interview with him this weekend, Mike. Mm-hmm. And, he's an impressive dude.
Yeah, he is.
That Harrison Ford. 82 years young, Mike.
Yeah. Still just like so handsome.
Looks pretty much the same, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got some more wrinkles in the face, but like, he's one of those guys. I was actually a quick side note. I was on the old social medias, and I saw one of those goofy posts where it's like, high school yearbook photos of famous people.
Right.
And I started going through a couple of them, and like that's the thing is you can tell some people like change zero, and like you see their picture and you're like, know exactly who that is.
Yeah.
And then some people you're like, who the. And you have to go research and find it. He's one of those guys that I like, from high school to 82. Looks pretty much the same.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what you want to go with.
Yeah, really.
I mean, unless you're ugly, then you would like a change. You know? Yeah. But he's good looking, so he doesn't,
Yeah.
He'd want to keep that
He also,
consistent.
he has obviously in the high school yearbook, but also, like, throughout his life. I mean, he keeps a clean shave. Like, he doesn't really grow a lot of
I think I've
beards.
only seen one time where he was, like, a little stubble,
Yeah.
But almost always clean shave.
Yeah.
He's like the opposite of me. Mm-hmm. And basically the opposite on that. And the handsome part. Opposite. But, I mean, you think about it. Like I was about to say handsome Solo. Han Solo.
And handsome Solo.
Yeah. Indiana Jones. I mean, amazing. Blade Runner, Air Force One, Fugitive. He's been over 50 films, Mike. Lifetime Achievement Awards, Golden Globes, just all kinds of accolades.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was listening to an interview on NPR with Harrison Ford, and the lady doing the interview, she asked, basically the question was, what piece of advice were you smart to ignore? I was like, all right, let's see what he says here. And he started off real good, Mike. I was at first. He started off with what I was really happy about. He started off by saying, "I've ignored every piece of advice I've ever received," and I was like, "Woohoo! Yes, unsolicited advice, Harrison. That's good, right? Because like most of it is unsolicited advice,
of course,
and it was probably stupid, and you probably should ignore it, you know. But then he went a little astray." He thought about it for a while, and then he was like, whatever it is you want to do, don't try and imitate someone else's success.
Yeah.
Which sounds great, right, Mike?
Right.
Like that sounds good. But when you think about it, that's pretty goofy. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. Like, I get the sentiment. I get what he's trying to say, but I think would have been better if I would have gone back there and I was his PR and I was like, let me edit this for you. I think it would have been better to say, you're not going to be able to do exactly what someone else did. Don't try to do that.
Yeah, that's a...
Like, but saying don't try to imitate someone else, that's dumb, Mike. That's real dumb. You want to know why that's dumb?
Why?
Because everybody imitates someone.
Yeah, you can't
Everywhere.
really get around it.
In everything that you do. I mean, look at popular products. Coca-Cola, Mike. It was a ripoff. It was just another imitation. The biggest drink company in the world was just another imitation of another drink.
Yeah.
Vin Mariani. John Pemberton saw it and said, hey, you know what? I bet people would like a drink with cocaine in it.
So true.
Let's try that. And he made his own, Coca-Cola, and guess what? It was really popular.
Yeah.
People did like a drink with cocaine in it. It was delicious.
Yeah.
I never had the original recipe, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Music,
You're missing
Mike.
out.
What? I know. Mike's having it right now. That's what he's having. Original recipe Coca-Cola. That's
Minus the
that's
cola.
People are like, do you drink coffee in the morning? No. Original recipe Coca-Cola. Gets me up every morning.
Sweet.
We're ready to go. But like, look at music, Mike. People say the Beatles. Oh, they're revolutionary. Did something completely different. No, they didn't. Ask them. And people did. They were trying to be Chuck Berry. They were trying to be Elvis Presley. They were trying to be the Everly Brothers. Look at Nirvana. Everybody talks about, ooh, Nirvana changed music. They were completely different. No, they weren't. They were trying to sound like the Beatles. They were trying to sound like the Pixies. They were trying to sound like the Melvins. Everything we do is based on imitation.
It's all a remix.
We imitate, then we progress, and we evolve. There's never been musical artists. There's never been anything. There's never been an artist in history that has never heard anyone else play an instrument and been like, hey, I made these sounds completely up by myself.
Yeah.
I just thought of this completely on my own. No.
Nope.
Choose any artist, any scientist, any thinker, any person, anywhere, anytime. They have imitated what they have seen. They are basing their ideas and their experiences in their life off of things that they have seen.
Yeah.
Mike, this show has tons of imitations.
I'm an imitation.
And I will say, to Harrison Ford's credit, all of our imitations have been unsuccessful. But I mean, you know, I've taken things from David Letterman, Howard Stern, Jalen and Jacoby podcast, Conan's show, all over the place.
Yeah.
You know? Now, again, like I said, have ours been successful? No.
No.
Come on. But listeners, that doesn't mean my imitation was wrong or bad. That just means I suck at doing it.
Wait, what?
Right? Is my point that I suck? No. That's not my point. My point is not that I suck. My point is, imitate someone that inspires you.
Yeah.
And your failure to truly imitate them will result in something new and amazing that a lot of people will like.
Yeah. And then...
You're not going to live up to that imitation. It's going to be something new that you create when you try to imitate.
That's a fact.
I mean, who are you going to trust, listeners? A dude that's been super successful, has all kinds of awards, and an amazing, successful, long career like myself, or Harrison Ford?
Wait, what?
Obviously me, right?
Obviously.
Take my advice, guys. You want to imitate who you who you believe in. You know?
Yeah.
And if you believe in this show, you should probably make yourself a Ted G show.
Mm-hmm.
A Ted T show.
Word.
That would be better. Ted T. If there's a Ted T out there right now, make yourself a Ted T show.
Good luck, though.
Although, no, I take that back. That's too close to TED Talks. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're going to have to think of something else.
Yeah,
you're going to have to branch out on that one. But workshop it, guys. Workshop it. Mike, are you ready to fire up this show that's full of imitations?
Let's fire up this imitation show, Doc G.
All 3 engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and lift off.
I don't know. That sounded bad, Mike. Imitation show? Just
That's
imitation
true.
by itself.
I was like, I'm just going to say it. But yeah, it's not
Listeners,
an imitation.
Mike's sunburned. Don't judge him.
I'm very sunburned.
He got too much sun. He can't think. It's on his face.
It's
burning into his brain.
Yeah.
He's now listeners are thinking that you're just over there as like a giant blister. He's not a giant blister,
no,
listeners. It was just he's been babysitting for months.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden he went out into the sun.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
That was too much.
But you came out on the other side, Mike. You're good.
Yeah. No aloe vera needed.
Oh, look at you. Look at you go. That's good. Mike, we have a fantastic show. I am very excited about this guy that's coming on the show. Mr. Chuck Leavell.
Legend.
This guy was literally a member of the Allman Brothers. So we'll talk about it in the interview, but the song Jessica, the super famous Allman Brothers song Jessica, that's him tickling those ivories. Sweet. That's him back there playing the piano on that song. He was part of the Allman Brothers, the legendary Hall of Fame band. He was the keyboard player and musical director, still is, Mike, for the Rolling Stones.
Say what?
He's been doing that since 1982. Every single tour they have done, every single album they have done since 1982, Chuck has been a part of it.
Yeah.
He's been on
incredible.
So many famous musicians' albums. Aretha Franklin, David Gilmore, Pink Floyd, Eric Clapton, Miranda Lambert, Eric Church, George Harrison, the Black Crowes, Train, John Mayer. The list, it is long, Mike. My goodness, it is crazy. And he's a super interesting dude, amazingly talented, and he's going to be in Ponte Vedra here in just a couple weeks.
Nice.
September 17th.
That's right.
And I was telling you before, Mike, it's going to be like Storytellers on VH1. That's the way these shows are set up. So, it's going to be Chuck on stage, and he's going to answer people's questions, and he's going to talk about some stories behind the music there, and then he's going to play some of the tunes.
I love that format. That's a cool format.
Yeah, very cool format, Mike. I went to a Shinedown concert once that was like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Way back in the day. That was like 2010 maybe, or 11, something like that. But it was very good. Got a lot of background info there from Brent from Shinedown. Very, very good stuff.
Yeah.
But did you ever actually watch Storytellers on VH1, Mike?
I did watch Storytellers on VH1. I watched a couple of them. I think I watched John Mayer. I think I watched Kanye West had one when he was not crazy.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's a cool format. I think iTunes also has a similar type of format of where they get the background of the song.
They did for a little bit. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's fun, man. I like learning about, everybody always wants to know about the songs. Like, where'd that come from? What's who's that written for? What's the meaning behind it?
As Chuck Leavell said, the inside baseball, Mike.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, fun fact.
Sometimes
I went back
it's disappointing, though.
I went back and looked. We've had members of 4 different bands that were actually on Storytellers on the Doc G show.
Nice.
Any guesses who?
No.
Girl, come on.
Counting Crows, Black Crows, Def Leppard, My Morning Jacket.
Nice.
Those would be the four bands. But yeah, no, Mike, I would say sometimes you find out and you're like, oh, that's a really lame reason to make that song. Like, you were listening to the lyrics and you're like, yeah, I feel exactly what they're saying. And then they explain why they wrote it and you're like, oh, that's not it was
just an accident.
Different.
I was reading this sign and I saw that and I was like, oh, that'd be a cool lyric.
Yeah. Honestly, I like those better where it's just like, oh, it has no meaning. It's more depressing when like I'm reading something super deep into it, but it's like 180 degrees from their super deep meaning. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Really misshot my target on that one. That is not what they were thinking at all, but that's not the point, Mike. The point is you'll be able to hear that from Chuck Leavell.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to break it down here in Florida. 9/17, September 17th. And anyone who gets a ticket, you're going to be able to see that live inside baseball. It's going to be a good time. Anywho, Mike, we need to start where we start.
Birthday suit.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Girl, come on.
I think you got this one.
Cool.
I mean, it's a huge name, and we've talked about him on the show before. We'll see. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna give it 80%.
Cool. All right.
Born on September 3rd, 1965 in New York City, our birthday suit wearer wanted to follow in his dad's footsteps, who was also an actor, Martin Sheen, who was already starring in several blockbuster movies when our birthday suit wearer was born. Our birthday suit wearer's first big break was in Platoon. After Platoon in 1987, he played in the very successful Wall Street. In 2003, our birthday suit wearer started acting in a sitcom on TV titled 2.5 Men. It was extremely successful, and by the 8th season, he was earning $1.8 million an episode. But in 2011, he was fired with a fight with the writer and creator of the show, and replaced with Ashton Kutcher. In 2015, our birthday suit wearer announced he had HIV. Name that birthday suit wearer.
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen is correct. Nicely done, Mike. Charlie Sheen. I'm betting all of my money you don't know what his real name is.
No.
Carlos Irwin Estevez.
Wow.
Yeah. His dad changed his name too, of course. That's why Charlie Sheen went with the Sheen from his dad. His dad is Ramon Antonio Estevez.
Okay, he doesn't have does he have a brother or no?
Who?
Charlie Sheen.
Yeah. Emilio Estevez.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Did you say that? You didn't say that.
I just brought up his dad.
Yeah, and then his brother kept the real name.
Yeah, so
Emilio Estevez from
should I look that up, Mike? Should I look up the story of why his brother kept his name?
It's
I'm
so
gonna
random,
do it,
man.
Listeners. I'm gonna find out why Emilio decided to keep his own name and not switch to the family acting name of Sheen. I mean, I'm sure you guys could do it if you wanted to and look it up with ChatGPT, but hey, that's why you're here on this show, is because you don't want to do it. You want to let me do it. Mm-hmm. So don't worry, listeners. It's coming next week.
Word.
Emilio Estevez. But yeah, that's interesting, right? He was just like, hey, I'm going to keep my name. And Charlie Sheen was like, I'm gonna switch my name. I'm gonna switch on over. So there you go. Yeah. But, Charlie Sheen, man, I'll tell you, especially in the 80s, woo! That guy was a killer back then.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean a lady killer. Good Lord. He was, attractive dude, Mike. I mean, still a good-looking dude for 60 years old, or I don't know if he's 60 yet. When did I say his birthday was? 65? Oh, he's turning 60. This is his big 6-0. There we go. Happy birthday, Charlie Sheen. And, seems to be fighting the HIV pretty well, so good for him on that, Hopefully he's using using the Magic Johnson as an example. That guy seems to not have a problem at all with it. So, there you go.
Yeah.
But anyways, Charlie Sheen, Mike, turning the big 6-0. Happy birthday to Charlie Sheen. Mike, we are going to take a break. We are going to be right back here on the Doc G Show. We are back here on the Doc G Show, Spinnaker Radio, WSKRLP 95.5 FM in Jacksonville, Florida. Woo-hoo. Mike, what do the listeners need to do?
Well, Doc G, if the listeners feel like the show is a positive way to waste their time, they should please subscribe to the show wherever they can. We are on all types of different places where you can...
Platforms
where you can review our show. Please leave us a 5-star review and follow us and subscribe, whatever you can do to support.
Mike, I got a feeling there's too many regulars out there that are listening to the show and not liking it. And if you're one of those people, shame on you.
Yeah.
Shame.
That's right.
Just like it, guys. Just give us remember, I forget the actual number. It's like $20,000 in our pocket or $2,000. I can't remember the actual, but it's a lot. It will add up, listeners.
Yeah.
And it'll keep us around. If you don't do those, we will fade into nothing. You will just never see this show again. So, anyways.
Yeah.
That's our public service announcement.
Leave
for
us
this
a 5-star review, people. Come on. Get it together.
We did get one, and I will say, Mike, I don't know, well, I sort of know the statistics on this, but I'd like to know, like, the exact statistics and different things. We have higher than 99% of 5-star reviews relative to all other podcasts.
No, hell yeah.
Which isn't surprising, considering there's a bunch of podcasts out there that have, like, one show, and then they gave up, and they didn't have anything. So, like, I mean, it's not surprising, but still... I mean, anyways, Mike, we need to thank the regulars.
We do.
I'm gonna go slow here. We're gonna go slow and controlled. I'm gonna try not to completely screw up, Mike. Here we go.
Okay.
Shout out to Boardman, Oregon, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Peoria, Illinois, Katy, Texas, Toms River, New Jersey, Olive Branch, Mississippi, Richardson, Texas, Asheville, North Carolina, Los Angeles, California, Spartanburg, South Carolina, Genoa, Italy, Athens, Georgia, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Chicago, Illinois, Boynton, Virginia, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Columbus, Ohio, Falkenstein, Germany, Jacksonville, Florida, Columbia, South Carolina, Radford, Virginia, Gainesville, Florida, Barcelona, Spain, Winfield, West Virginia, Frankfurt, Germany, Fort Worth, Texas, Phoenix, Arizona, Biloxi, Mississippi, Anoka, Minnesota, Ashburn, Virginia, Piracai, Brazil, San Diego, California, Dublin, Ireland, St. George, Grenada.
Nice.
There we go.
Great job, Doctor.
Thank you.
Welcome.
It was it's the snowball effect, Mike. You slowly start, you build your confidence, and then you get a little bit faster. That's what I need to remind myself when I give the shout outs there. Otherwise, there'll be a catastrophe. I'll screw up in the middle, and everybody will turn their headphones off, and they'll be like, this guy, he can't say countries and cities. I'm not going to listen anymore, It's a big risk, Mike. It's a big risk. Semi-regulars, here we go. Here's some semi-regulars. Camden, New Jersey. Mike, I've never been to Camden. Well, I probably have been to Camden. Because, I mean, Camden's really, it's real close to...
Close to Philly.
Yeah. I thought so. Yeah, I've probably been. Yeah, it's right across the old bridge there. Yeah. At some point in time, I've been in Camden.
I like Camden.
I don't know anything specific that I've been to Camden for.
Me neither.
But
I felt good there, though.
There you go. Yeah. Listeners in Camden, Mike felt good in your city.
Well, it's got a little bit of a reputation, Camden.
Yeah, for what?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of a weird part of town.
Rough edge?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? We got a bit of a rough edge, Mike.
Yeah, we do.
Not at all. But,
We're for Camden.
We'll act like we do. Us and Camden.
Some of these episodes are a little dangerous,
everybody. They are dicey. They are dicey.
Better listen to it during the daylight.
Gets scary. Hey, I just noticed. I just pulled it up, Mike. There's an island right beside Camden, in between Philadelphia and Camden. Never noticed that. Petty Island. I don't even know what's on Petty. I've never even looked at it. Now I'm interested. I want to know what's on Petty Island. I'm putting that right with Emilio Estevez.
Yeah.
What's going on Petty Island? Those are two very important things that we are going to get to the bottom of here on the show, listeners. Budapest, Hungary. You ever been to Budapest, Mike?
No.
Yeah, neither have I. But I hear good things, too. I've heard good things about Budapest. Newcastle, Australia. I'm almost positive you've never been there, Mike.
No, never been to Australia, but definitely want to go.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's like we've talked about. I need a lot of pit stops on that one.
Yeah.
There's no way I can make it like 20-some hours in one shot.
Yeah.
I will go crazy. That is too much. Miami, Florida, Mike. We know that place. We've both been there. That's nice. Lovely. Shout out to the old 305. Indianapolis, Indiana. There we go. Shout out to Indianapolis. Melbourne, Australia. Again, getting the down under listens. Decatur, Georgia. Springfield, Illinois. Sao Paulo, Brazil. Regular, semi-regulars right there with the old Sao Paulo.
Yeah.
Birmingham, Alabama. B-Ham. Yeah. London, England, Portland, Oregon, and we're going to finish it up with a classic, Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Doylestown's right on the other side of Philadelphia, Mike.
Okay.
Yeah. They've
Cool.
been, like I said, they've been sort of semi-regulars.
Okay.
They're getting close, but they need several weeks in a row, and they haven't reached the threshold, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But shout out to you guys, anyways.
Yeah.
You know.
Thanks, Doylestown.
For some reason, I just Googled Doylestown, Mike, and the thing that's on Google's map right beside there's two things on Google Maps right beside Doylestown. There is Font Hill Castle. Which Font Hill Castle seems to be right in Doylestown, which looks pretty cool. Its little footnote is palatial home with antique tile.
Word.
Yeah, and 4.8 stars, Mike. 4.8 stars, 2,062 reviews.
That's good. Good rating.
That's it, Mike. I'm going to find some of those 1 stars for next week.
Sweet.
We're going digging in the old Font Hill Castle. I'm writing it down. Font Hill Castle. I'm going to find out what the old Font Hill Castle is. Also, Mike, Peddler's Village. Don't know what Peddler's Village is. It's a shopping mall. It looks very weird.
Yeah.
Yes, Peddler's Village. Looks bizarre. Colonial-style site for shops and events.
I just imagine people selling rugs and stews and swords and.
Well, you're stepping back into the 1700s there, Mike.
Yeah, just a bunch of peddlers.
You're stepping back in time.
Ragged cloaks.
Doylestown, man. Now, Peddlers. Oh, holy crap! Peddler's Village has 13.2 thousand 5-star ratings, Mike.
Jeez.
13.2 thousand.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's got a rating of 4.7. People love peddling, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness. Here's just one real quick that I enjoyed: a chocolate chip pumpkin cheesecake muffin at the Lucky Cupcake. Yeah, that's right. Did you hear how long that is, Mike? Chocolate chip pumpkin cheesecake muffin.
Yeah, I had to stop every step of the way, and I'm just adding things, and I'm like, okay, plus that, plus that, plus that, plus cheesecake.
I don't know if I can handle all of those things.
Muffin. I've never heard cheesecake muffin in the same description.
Here you go, Mike. Here you go. Louis DeSantis says, a beautiful autumn day to enjoy scarecrows and scenery. We had lunch at Hart's Tavern. Food was served quickly and was delicious. Enjoyed a chocolate chip pumpkin cheesecake muffin at the Lucky Cupcake. 5 stars, Mike. 5 flippin' stars. I'm interested now in the Lucky Cupcake. My God.
Me too.
I'm going. God, I got so many things. It's next week is a discovery, Mike. It is a discovery. We got the cupcake, the Lucky Cupcake. We got Font Hill Castle. We got Emilio Estevez. God, so many fun. And it's just like we said earlier, Mike. Dangerous. Watch out. Dangerous stuff.
Very dangerous.
If you're going to the Lucky Cupcake, you'll probably get HIV. Okay, that was uncalled for, listeners.
Okay,
you won't.
Whoa.
You won't. You'll be completely fine. There's also statues. There's like weird man, this place is bananas, Mike. Doylestown, you guys got it all. What are you doing even listening to our show? It's amazing. You could be out there right now at the Peddler's Village or the Font Hill Castle, and you're listening to us. Shout out to you guys. My goodness.
Thank you.
But Mike, we need to take a break. We are going to be right back with none other than Chuck Leavell right here on the Doc G Show. Welcome back to the show, everybody. We are very excited to be welcoming a legend in rock and roll. If you've heard a rock song with fantastic piano, let's be honest, there's a good chance that this guy played it. And he's going to be in Ponte Vedra September 17th. That's your chance to see him. Mr. Chuck Leavell. Chuck, what's happening?
Doc, I'm doing good. I'm very, very pleased to be with you, my friend.
Yes. I was getting ready to make that announcement about you being on the show, and I thought back to your documentary and how your name has always been Chuck Leavell, was always pronounced Chuck Leavell before you actually started doing like interviews like this. And I was wondering, does the rest of your family still go by Leavell?
They do. My sister Judy is Judy Leavell. She has had a great career in acting, and she's retired now. My brother Billy is a preacher for the deaf congregation of the Church of Christ in Memphis, and he's Billy Leavell. But the way this happened was when I joined the Allman Brothers band back in, I guess, 72 it was.
Yeah.
Greg and Dickey didn't really like doing interviews at the time, and so they kind of said, well, Chuck's the new guy, put him on. And so I would go to a radio station, and we had just done Greg's first solo record, Laid Back, and right after that we did the Brothers and Sisters record. So I was kind of promoting both things. But they would say, well, we have Chuck Leavell here. And, I started correcting a little bit, but it happened so often. I heard the pronunciation, and I thought, that sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty cool. So I actually did some research, and the original family that came over from France. They were Huguenots, and it was pretty close to Leavell.
Okay.
And it means the valley. It means the valley. So, the family was from the valley, and then they came all the way from France over to America, settled, and somehow the name got pronounced Leavell.
We got lazy in America, and we were like, you know what, Leavell, it's fine. Which is quite ironic when you think it. I just thought about that. Valley, Leavell. We went from having a curve down to just being flat ground, and then you went back to a valley. I like it. Well, I don't want to start the interview off on the wrong foot here, but I know you're an Alabama fan.
It hurts my heart. That was not good.
I mean, I know I've seen you talk before about talking with Nick Saban, being somewhat friends with Nick Saban. Have you got a chance to meet Kalen DeBoer?
I have not yet.
Should he be worried about his job?
Well, that's a good question. But I think everybody wants to give him a little more time. All right, we've had not the greatest of seasons last year, and this is the first game. So let's don't get too excited. Let's settle in. I watched that game or most of it, and I just thought the team was a little sloppy. They looked like they just weren't ready to me. And I haven't really heard the comments from coach and from any of the players. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's a little painful if you had so many great years with Saban and you just want the team to continue. I mean, it's a great name in the world of football. When you think of Alabama, you think of winning. And we got to get back on that.
I was telling somebody this morning, actually, we were talking about it. I was like, I don't like, you think about Kalen DeBoer and coming into that job. There is nothing harder in football than what he had to do. Like, you're going in to the coach that's been the most consistent and the best, literally. I mean, some people would argue, obviously, Bear did a better job, but like, you can't really argue anybody else than that. And the consistency that he had, and that was the thing, like you mentioned, with Saban, there were never mistakes. You were going to have to beat them to win. Like, you were just going to have to play better. You weren't going to succeed off of mistakes. And I just, I mean, it better than I do. I don't think the fan base is, they're not going to be too loose with this job. Like they can't stand a lot of losing. It's just not in their background to do it. It's tough. Tough.
That's right. We're not used to that, and it does not feel good to start the season like this. But again, it's the first game.
We got a whole, and now there's a 12 team playoff. So
yeah,
there's some room. Well, I mean, you for listeners that don't know, you grew up in Tuscaloosa. That was sort of where you had your formidable years there. Did you? I mean, you were already, I know, playing piano a good amount by this time. But did you ever think like, I'll go a football route? Was football ever in the background or no?
No, I didn't have the talent for that, Doc. That wasn't going to be my career for sure. But I was there during the Bear Bryant years, Joe Namath years, Mike Frocky. I don't know if you remember that name. He was a great halfback, used to jump over the pile to make a touchdown. And Leroy Jordan.
So you saw some great football.
Oh, Kenny the Snake, man. He was in there as well during those years. And so great tradition, and I love the game and I love my team. So,
but you knew it wasn't for you.
No, athletics. I was never all that good at it. I mean, I played a little bit of sports when I was very young. But music came along pretty quick.
Well, now I heard Ray Charles' concert solidified your decision in sort of becoming a musician. That was what you saw, and you were like, that. What do you remember about that concert?
The power of the band, not just Ray, but Ray, of course, was Ray. But it was the band. It was Fathead Newman on saxophone. It was the Raylettes. It was Billy Preston playing organ, Hammond organ. Who, for your listeners that don't know his career, he played with the Beatles. He played with the Stones. He had hit records of his own. Fantastic musician. I did get to meet Billy a short period before he passed away, and I was grateful for that, just to tell him, hey man, I saw you when you were with Ray, but it was just such a powerful performance. The arrangements were great. The band was spot on. Ray was amazing, and it was moving. That was the main thing, Doc. I left that arena saying, if I could ever, not that I could necessarily play in a band like that, but if I could ever be in a band that would move people like that just moved me, I'm all in.
Well, I think I think you got there in a lot of different bands. So I mean, one of those, like you mentioned already, Allman Brothers, and I was looking back on it, and just from sort of my perspective, looking back on it, you joined at like a really wild time, because like you said, when you were doing those promotions, like you guys had just finished Brothers and Sisters, which goes on to be the most successful album the Allman Brothers have. Hits #1 on the charts. But it's also only 2 years after Dwayne passed away and a year after Barry Oakley passed away. And you're 21 when this is going on. I mean, it seems like a lot of like chaos to walk into. Was it?
Well, here's the thing. For those that have followed the career of the Allman Brothers, first of all, let me just say, I used to see the Allman Joys, Greg and Dwayne, with obviously another set of musicians in Tuscaloosa when I was growing up there. So I was familiar with the brothers then. Followed the career, obviously migrated from Tuscaloosa over to Macon, Georgia. I had heard about Capricorn Records. I started moving up the ladder a little bit there. And then the tragedy happens with Dwayne, right? And it affected not only the Allman Brothers band, but all of us. Dwayne was kind of a spiritual leader, if you will, of all of us musicians, even not only in Macon, Georgia. It was kind of throughout the South. Everybody had such a high regard and respect for Dwayne. So what happens is the band has some obligations on the books to do concerts after Dwayne passes. And they go out, and it was quite a lot of shows. I can't remember exactly, but maybe 50, 60 shows that they did as a 5-piece band with no replacement, because you don't replace Dwayne Allman, right? And so Dickey, that was a lot of pressure on Dickey Betts. Dickey had never played slide guitar, and now he's got to bone up on that and play some of those slide parts that Dwayne was so famous for. And so they go out, they work hard, they do this series of concerts. They come back to Macon physically exhausted, mentally exhausted, and they're taking a break. And Greg wants to do this solo album. He had some music that he felt didn't quite fit the Allman Brothers, and it was a little mellower stuff. And so I get called in for that session, for the laid-back sessions. It's going very well. We have a different set of musicians. Everything's fine. The producer, Johnny Sandlin's doing a great job. Greg is happy. The guys are still on break. Well, after, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, these jam sessions start happening sort of after hours. And here comes the rest of the guys down to the studio. Dickey comes in, Barry Oakley, of course, Butch and J-Mo. And so sometimes we'd pick a blues tune, sometimes we'd pick maybe an Allman Brothers song, sometimes we'd just say, okay, A minor, let's go, And It started feeling pretty good, you know. It was feeling good to me, and everybody was kind of smiling. There's lots of looks exchanged across the room while this was going on. And maybe another 2 to 3 weeks after that, I get a call from the offices of Capricorn Records, and of course, Phil Walden was the manager of the band, and he was the founder of Capricorn Records. Bill Walden wants to see you. Oh, great. What have I done wrong, you know?
Sent to the principals.
Exactly. And so I walk into the room. There's all the rest of the guys. Pleasantries are passed, and then the shoe drop. Hey, man, band feels like this is going in a pretty cool direction. We're going to do an Allman Brothers record after this. Would you like to join in and be in the band? Yeah. Yes, I would. Thank you very much.
I mean, you sort of mentioned it, but it's always seemed like me, and I mean, I don't think Dickey had a problem with this or anybody else, it seemed like, from the outside, but like, it always, regardless of when it was, it seemed like Dwayne's band. Like,
yeah.
Regardless of the time period, regardless of when he passed away 5 years after, it was still Dwayne's band.
You know, I think we all felt like that, Doc. Again, going back to my very early years, when I was watching the Allman Joys, as I mentioned earlier, in Tuscaloosa, I would have been like 14, 14 or 15. I was playing in a band. I was loving it. And those guys just blew me out of the water. You know, they looked so cool. They dressed so cool. In a way, they were kind of bringing hipness to the South for the first time. And they could play, man. You know, they weren't kidding. They had a great little band for their age at the time. The Joys were wonderful. So, you know, they were another inspiration for me, quite frankly, early on, for me to stick with music. You know, hey, if they can do it, you know, maybe I can.
Well, I mean, when you joined the band, an unforgettable song that you were on, Jessica, you can almost turn on any classic rock radio station in the country, and within a couple of hours, you're probably gonna hear Jessica. I was thinking about this. I imagine you have to hear it different places you go. And I have a guess of what you're going to say, but when you hear that song, now that it's 50 years since you made it, a little bit more, what does it make you think of when you hear that?
Well, first of all, thank you, Dickey Betts, for writing such a great instrumental piece of music. You know, it's really a brilliant piece. And the other thing that runs through my head is, wow, it's stood the test of time. You know, here it is 50 years later and they're still playing. And I mean, that's something that's very, very gratifying. And it also, thirdly, it takes me back to when we were recording that album, when we were playing that song. You know, it's almost like I'm in a time travel situation. I'm back in the studio, sitting behind the piano and looking around at those guys and thinking, wow, how grateful am I? How lucky am I? How fortunate? That was a golden era for the band. You know, it's a shame that Dwayne made his mark. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he made his mark, but it's kind of a shame that he passed so young, 24 years old, 24, man. And to think what he accomplished in those 24 years is remarkable. But it would have been cool if he could have made it, wouldn't it? You know, imagine where things would have been now. But again, I'm just grateful to have been invited into the band, and of course my main concern was, don't screw it up, Chuck.
I mean, you sort of mentioned it, thanks to Dickey Betts for writing the song. I mean, I think sometimes, like I said, he got a little overshadowed, and I mean, to a degree, for again being Dwayne's sort of project, but you know, I mean, so many of the Allman Brothers classics, the Ramblin' Mans and the Jessicas and all these other songs that Dickey wrote, and he passed away a little over a year ago.
Yeah.
When you think of Dickey, what comes to mind the most? What's the thing that stood out to you when you actually started playing with Dickey?
Well, as you said, he was somewhat overshadowed by Duane's reputation. You know, people already knew who Duane Allman was when he formed the Allman Brothers Band, but they didn't know who Dickey Betts was. And so, you know, he, as you mentioned earlier, he was slightly overshadowed, but he certainly came into his own, and rightfully so. And, you know, Dickey and I had a really cool relationship, and he was kind of a big brother to me in a lot of ways, and took me under his wing, you know, even after the Allman Brothers broke up temporarily back in '76. I played with Dickey in the Dickey Betts band, and we had another band called BHLT, sounds like a sandwich, I guess, but it was Betts, Hall, Leavell, and Trucks, and that's Dickey Betts, obviously, Jimmy Hall from Wet Willie, myself, and Butch Trucks. And we had a nice little run, lots of fun. We never did a record together, but we did a series of concerts. So, and by the way, I read only yesterday, I thought this was so cool, that if the legislature in Florida approves it, they're going to name a portion of Highway 41 the Dickey Betts Highway, for obvious reasons, rolling on down Highway
41.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I mean, you know, rolling down your career after the Allman Brothers, you do several years of Sea Level too, and then, of course, what a lot of folks remember, in '82, you get the offer to start touring with Rolling Stones, which, of course, at the time, they'd already been doing 20 years of touring and performing. I mean, did you have any idea when you started that job that it was going to be a 40-year gig when you said yes?
No way, man. No way. Honestly, at the time, I thought to myself, well, wow, you know, what an honor, what an opportunity. Wouldn't it be nice if I got maybe 3, maybe 5 years? I mean, that would be great, you know. And the stars lined up. The universe was very kind to me, and the band just kept on keeping on. And that led, as I think you know, to my 2 years with Eric Clapton. Wonderful years, the Unplugged record, which is still his biggest selling record. And that was such a great band. Andy Fairweather Lowe on guitar with Eric. Katie Kassoon and Tessa Niles on background vocals, Ray Cooper on percussion, Steve Ferroni on drums, Nathan East on bass. It was just such a wonderful band to work with for a couple of years. And also, as you may know, and this is kind of a bit of a tragic story, because we all know what happened to Eric's son, Connor. And at the end of the 2 years I had with Eric, he was going to take a break and spend time with Connor. That was the whole idea of it. He was going to take almost a year off. And then this horrible tragedy happens where the boy falls out of a high rise in New York and passes. And we get a call, all of us, you know, from management saying, look, we don't need Eric to be sitting around now. He needs to work, you know, he needs to get his mind on music, and let's move forward. And that's what we did. But the interesting thing was, during this period, he and George Harrison, they were always very, very good friends, as we all know. And he kind of challenged George to a tour. He said, man, you know, you never get in the trenches, right? You do an album about every 4 or 5 years, but you don't go out and play for the people, you know, come on. And George's answer in the beginning was, well, I don't have a band. And Eric says, well, I've got a band, and you can have it, and you can have me. So that's what happened. You know, we went over to England, started rehearsing with George. Pretty amazing. And of course, we had the same band that I just mentioned to you. backing up George, and we did this tour of Japan. It was absolutely fantastic, and what an incredible individual, what an artist, guitar player, singer, songwriter, on and on and on. But as a human being, just one of the sweetest guys I've ever met, and very accommodating, very wonderful sense of humor. He had this wonderful little small chuckle that kind of would come out of him from time to time, and it was so lovely. And spending time with him at his home in England, Friar Park, which was absolutely stunning. And we, at the end of that, of course, all of us really wanted George to take it to America, and we practically begged him, But I think he enjoyed that tour. I know that. Well, we did a live record, by the way, live in Japan, George Harrison. But I think he had been turned off, especially in America, on the last tour that he had done, because the story is, some of your fans and listeners might know this story, but he went out to the audience at the end of a show where everybody had left, and he looked out into the audience, and there's just trash everywhere. They're just, cans and bottles and chairs turned over and all. It was just a big mess. And I think he thought to himself, that's not what I'm all about, and that's not what I really want to promote, right? In Japan, things were so different. The Japanese are very polite. They're very neat,
very organized,
fastidious, and organized, all those things. And that went pretty well, but I think he just felt, okay, I've done it. I've done a tour. I'm going to go back to making records. And then, of course, as we know, he tragically passed with throat cancer.
I mean, that, you brought it up. I mean, you're in the middle of a tour with George Harrison and Eric Clapton, two of the most famous musicians of the last, 60 years. And I mean, at that time, you'd already been part of the Allman Brothers. You'd already been touring with the Stones. But it's still, I feel like, were there points that you would just stop and go, what am I doing right now? Like, okay, I guess. Like, I mean, it's still got to be a little bit jarring, I guess.
Well, it was so fortunate that when Eric called me, this, by the way, and I shouldn't divulge all of this to you because I got a show to do and I'll be talking about some of these. But I guess the lucky thing was that availability, one artist wanted me to play and the other artist was taking a break, so I've been very fortunate in being able to pick up gigs like that.
Right place at the right time. Yeah. The opposite of Dr. John. Yeah. Well, now, one thing that I feel like is mentioned a little bit less than the Stones and the Allman Brothers in your career. But it is part of the documentary there, and people do obviously know it really well, but you recorded the piano parts on the Black Crowes debut album there, Shake Your Moneymaker. How does that one end up? Because I feel like, I didn't see the connection of someone there that was going to reach out to you as far as the folks that were on that album. How do you become a part of that album?
Well, first of all, those guys are from Georgia,
Right.
They grew up in Georgia in the Atlanta area. And so I think they had they knew who I was. And when they got the record deal, they had these great songs, as we know, for a debut album especially. But they didn't have a keyboard player. They had two guitar players, bass and drums, and, of course, Chris singing. And I thought they felt, hey, Chuck's from Georgia, he's a Georgian, and he's got some experience, so let's just see if he's available. And I was. And it started out with, hey, we got this song and we think it needs piano, Okay, I put the piano on it. Oh, man, it was great. How about a little Hammond B3 on it as well? Yeah, I can do that, put the B3 on. Yeah, man, we got this other song we want you to listen to. So it just kind of went on like that. And I love those guys. And, oh, heavens to Betsy, isn't it great that they're back together and working? And that last record they put out is fantastic. They're in the studio now recording new music. So
it's a head scratcher whenever brothers have such a hard time like that. I mean, it's the same thing with Oasis, same thing with the Kinks back in the day. Like, you just wonder, like, come on, guys, you're brothers. What's the deal? But I mean, what did you think? I mean, had you already heard their music or heard of them before they reached out and asked you to play on those songs?
Well, the hardcore fans would know that they were known as Mr. Crow's Garden.
Mm-hmm.
That was their name of the band, and they got signed by George Draculius, and he was the producer for the record. And so George, he kind of reached out to me out of the blue, to be honest with you. And he said, I was actually doing a session in Los Angeles at the time. And he said, oh, you're in town? Yeah. He said, well, listen, I've got this band that is asking if you would play on their record, and we're going to do the record coming up pretty soon. And I've got a demo. I said, all right, well, why don't we have lunch together? And we did. And then he said, all right, well, let's go out to my car and listen to this demo. And he had this, I don't know what year, but it was probably like a late 60s, early 70s model Cadillac convertible, which was a pretty cool car.
Yeah.
And he plugs the thing in, and it was an awful recording. And he apologized to me when he played it. He said, Chuck, we don't have anything other than this right now for you to hear, but this is a rehearsal they had, and I had one mic and I held it up, and so the recording was horrible, but the energy was unmistakable, just absolutely unmistakable. So I said, yeah, man, I want to do that, and these are guys from Georgia. Yeah, I want them to be successful, so let's do it. And it got down to the wire. I had a Stones tour coming up. I think it must have been the Voodoo Lounge tour, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I was about to leave for rehearsals, and they only had. I said, "Look, man, it's now or never, right?" So that's when we got together, did the recording up in Atlanta at a studio there, and I guess I got lucky.
Well, I mean, those guys. They sounded like they were coming straight out of 74 instead of 89 when you guys were recording that. Did you think a little bit when you heard it, like, this is old school? I did, yeah. It hit me like that. This is, I might this is real rock and roll. Mm-hmm.
This is raw, raunchy. Mm-hmm. And as I said earlier, unmistakable energy, and they had a thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's you can hear that with anybody that has started learning their craft and has put something together. They knew it,
Mm-hmm.
They knew they had something special. George Draculius knew it, and I knew it when I heard that horrible tape, horrible quality tape, I should say, but. Anyway, I just love it. They're back together and they're working. And I sat in with them not long ago when we did the last tour with the Stones. We were in L.A. They were playing the Greek Theater, I think it was,
mm-hmm.
and invited me to come play it, which I did, and invited Ronnie Wood as well. So we had a big time. And then recently I played with them here in Macon. We have a new amphitheater in Macon, Georgia that's doing very well. They played there, sat in with them there. So. Hopefully there'll be a few more of those.
Well, I sort of wondering, you've played on a bunch of songs that have been extremely successful like that. I mean, you talk about the Black Crowes songs, you talk about the Blues Traveler songs, you talk about the Train, Drops of Jupiter.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, in all of those, is it the same sort of scenario, or is it different? When you come in as like a sort of a studio guy in that situation, is it a clean slate? Is it sort of like, hey, listen to this song, make the piano part? Or is it, we've got sort of a part, make it your own?
It's definitely the former. I would like to think people call me because they feel like I can contribute, and that's what I want to do. I don't want to take it on unless I feel like I can contribute. In the case of Train, the producer had called me up and he said, "Listen, I got Brendan O'Brien, by the way, was a producer, and he was the engineer on the Black Crowes record." Brendan was. Well, anyway, he went on to be, as you know, very famous. He had a lot of grunge records out of Seattle. He did. But he called me up and he said, "Well, listen, I got this band, good band, and they got a very special song. It's got room for a piano part. I think it could be a good piano part." Brendan's a good player. Brendan said, "Well, I could probably do it, but I'd rather have somebody that I feel like could put a strong twist on it, And by the way, we're going to have Paul Buckmaster do the strings." And for those listeners that may not know that name, Buckmaster did all those wonderful Elton John records, all those beautiful strings on Elton John's records. So, and others, of course. But I said, "Yeah, man, I'll jump on this. If you got Buckmaster on the deal, you kidding me? I'd love to do that." So I walked into the studio. They said, "Here's a demo in a cassette. Here's a demo of the song. There's a room upstairs with a keyboard. You can go work on it up there. We're finishing up a track down here, and give us another hour or so, and we'll start on this song. Drops to Jupiter." And that's the way it works. So I up in the room working out my part, went downstairs with the boys, and it felt like home, man. Working with those cats, it just felt very natural.
I mean, you listen to that song. That song is not that song without that piano part. I mean, obviously you have the lyrics and the chorus and everything, but like that intro, that dramatic intro that you have, it makes the whole song.
Well, I appreciate that, man. But as you say, those guys are all so talented. I mean, Pat's voice is amazing, and they've gone on to have tremendous success. I wish they'd call me, "Pat, call me, man. Come on, man. You forgot my name. Come on."
Hey, we've been talking about all these great artists you've played with, the Allman Brothers and Rolling Stones and Black Crowes and Train, and we haven't brought up like 30 other artists that you've played with. And on your documentary, Mike Mills of REM, he said something that like sort of I definitely agreed with. He said, like, you have the capacity to make great musicians even better. Which, like it's true. I mean, you play with all of these artists, but how do you approach collaboration that you think makes that possible?
Well, Doc, first of all, when I'm going into a session, the first question I ask myself is, okay, well, what is the artist and producer looking for in this situation? And, when I hear the song, that's really the better question is, what is this song asking me to do? Is this song asking me to step up a little bit? Is it asking me to just color a little bit in the background? Is it asking me to, play off a certain other instrument, a guitar or drums or whatever it might be? And go in with an open mind, be creative, most of this stuff is kind of on the spot, I mean, you got to come up with it right then and there. You don't get a lot of chance to get this stuff in advance, so most of those things. I mean, with George, we rehearsed. With Eric, I rehearsed, when I came into the band at first during the unplugged sessions. Well, actually, that was the second part of my work with Eric. The first part was 24 Nights at the Albert Hall, when he did, a night of 4-piece, which I was not a part of, and then a night of 6-piece, which I was a part of, and then a night of blues, which was fantastic, had all kind of wonderful guests, and then an orchestrated night. But, again, it's just I'll walk in with an open mind, listen to the song, listen and think about what it wants me to do, and also work with the artist and the producer, And if I do something, and this happens occasionally, where they say, well, that's not quite the direction we want. Okay, I get it. Let's back up and let's try something else. Don't be afraid to fail, right? Or don't be afraid to play something that they think is not quite appropriate, and that's okay. Don't get your feelings hurt. Just let's find the right thing.
Yeah.
So those are the attitudes that come to play. And man, I'm just so excited to be able to come down there to Ponte Vedra and play. And everything that you and I have been talking about will be part of that performance. We are going to show an edited version of the Tree Man's. We won't show the whole 90-minute thing, but we'll show about a 20-minute version of that, just the highlights. Take the stage with a moderator with some questions and get to tell stories along the way. What was it like to be in this situation, that situation with these artists? Allows me to play certain songs that I'm known for. So
nice.
And a brand new, beautiful performing arts center.
We were lucky enough to have the first artist that got to I guess christen the new facility. So Dan Tominski came on right before he started in August when they first opened it, and he had a lot of positive things to say about it. So I think you'll really enjoy, both the listeners and yourself will enjoy the new digs there in Ponte Vedra for sure.
Well, I like these types of performances. They're intimate. It's one-on-one with the audience, right? I love playing with a band or different bands and all, but this is a unique opportunity to just me and the stories and the songs,
So a little bit like VH1 used to have the storytellers special, where it was sort of like you said, it's some open questions and some answers and some music in there.
Yeah, they get a little inside baseball kind of stuff, So.
Well, one thing I want to ask you before we go, I think listeners know you're also very much into conservation, very much into trees. You're on a tree farm, and if listeners don't know, you had a show called America's Forest with Chuck Leavell.
That's right, and it is still going on, by the way. We just got funded for an episode. This will be our second episode that we are doing in Georgia, in my home state now. But thanks for bringing it up, Doc. It's really, people ask me, how did you get into this? And it's all my wife's fault, I tell them, because my wife's family have been connected to the land for generations, and she inherited some land at one point from her grandmother. And it was like, okay, we got to do the right thing. I'm not sure what the right thing is, but I got to figure it out. And one of the first things that hit me was, hey, Chuck, where does that thing that's given you so much joy and such a great career come from? The instrument of the piano. What's it made of, right? And it's mostly wood. Most musical instruments have an element of wood. And so if you went into forestry and learned about it and learned how to manage different species of trees, that might be the way to handle this land. So I started studying and so forth, and eventually enrolled in a little correspondence course. And it's not that, okay, I'm going to be growing the kind of wood that makes pianos. It wasn't that. But it would be, hey, I can give back to the general resource by planting, managing, looking after, learning, and promoting. I became an advocate for sound forestry practices, sustainable forestry. And when you think about it, how much does wood give to us? I mean,
surrounded by right now.
Exactly. A wonderful resource. And don't forget, it's natural, organic, and most importantly, renewable. And so if you manage it right, it's going to be here.
Well, I gotta ask, as far as the show, I mean, you've got to go to all of these different states, look at all of these really cool, trees, really cool forest and farms. What would you say impressed you the most off the top of your head, as far as like what state, what trees?
Well, Georgia is probably the most productive forest state in the nation. We have some 23 and maybe close to 24 million acres of forest land. It's almost 2/3 of the state. That's a pretty good reputation. That
Your hometowner.
Georgia's managing, but there's other wonderful states. California has those beautiful redwoods. We did an episode of the TV program up in Maine, and they're a huge forested state with not a lot of population. So it's really interesting to see those, how big the forests are, how much they go on, and it's just beautiful. But that is the thing about America. Every region has its own thing in forestry, its own field, its own species. One of the things I'm doing, maybe this will be the last thing we can touch on this subject, but I'm working with the National Chestnut Foundation, the American Chestnut Foundation. As most of your listeners know, we lost the chestnut about the turn of the century with blight. Now they're doing some interesting experimentation. We're breeding 15/16 American chestnut to a 1/16 Chinese chestnut, to give resistance to the blight. And it seems to be working pretty well. It's not 100% successful, but we are having success. So it's going to take some more time, but I think we can bring that species back.
When I was in high school, my biology teacher, Mr. Jervis, was very closely connected to Virginia Tech, and we went up several times to this sort of forest plot of land there near Mountain Lake, where actually Dirty Dancing was filmed.
Yeah.
But there was actually an American chestnut grove that they were trying to make blight resistant then. Yeah. And the pictures and what you hear about the American chestnut, of how massive they were on the East Coast and just prevalent. It's such a shame to hear how they were just wiped out like that.
Well, we're going to work to bring them back, and they are a magnificent species, no doubt about it.
Absolutely. Well, listeners, if you want to hear more from Chuck, if you want to hear great music, if you want to you hear great stories and get a little inside baseball, as he said, you need to come down to Ponte Vedra on the 17th to check him out. It's a night with Chuck. Chuck, I don't want to take up any more of your time, but I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, Doc, you're the best, man. You're the best. Thanks for the invitation. I really appreciate it. I enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Listeners, go to his website, chuckleavell.com, for more information and tickets on the September 17th show. Right now, let's hear a little Sea Level right now.
Cool.
Let's hear a little Sea Level right here on the Doc G Show. Back here on the Doc G Show, Chuck Leavell, Mike, formerly known as Chuck Level. Listeners, for you that are not watching this, which you probably aren't, I'm holding a level. That's why Chuck Level is good. And so it was witty for you guys that couldn't see it. That was actually the way he pronounced his name, Mike. Can you believe that? Goes to a bunch of interviews. They call him they pronounce his name wrong, and he's just like, yeah, I guess that sounds good. We'll go with it. I'm
path
sure
of least resistance.
people, I'm sure, pronounce Mike Charette incorrectly, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All kinds of.
What you get?
Charade.
They really French it up.
I've heard chariot, and I'm like, man, you're just adding so much.
Yeah, you should have taken the real French pronunciation, Mike, and just gone with Mike Charade. Mike Charade. So French. And then they'd be.
I was actually thinking about changing my name to my wife's maiden name, which would be O'Rock. Mike O'Rock. What do you think about that?
I like it.
Kind of cool, right?
I like it because it's. I mean, it's.
I like it.
You're not going like full Mike Rock, like you're not Chris Rock's brother, but like you're a variation. I like that. O'Rock.
Yeah,
I like it.
I like it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yep. Go ahead and change it, Mike. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. We're gonna do it. But like Mike, in the interview, he mentioned. I mean, he went to see Ray Charles and was moved. Physically moved, and he was like, "If I can do that to somebody else, I want in." Now, I think I remember, Mike, but was there a particular comedian that made you do that? That made you say, like, if I can make a person laugh like they did, I'm in.
Yeah, man. Eric Myers, for me. I mean, he's a little bit of a deep cut in the comedy world, but he was captivating. And he was incredibly funny to all ages.
And see here, I was completely wrong. I thought you were going to say old Dane Cook.
Eric, hey, Dane Cook's a killer, and I've heard stories of him, when he was kind of about to break, where he was just leveling rooms. I never personally got to see it, so Eric Myers was the closest I ever got to a guy who was just, from the time that he got on stage to the time that he got off stage, he was killing. He was making everybody in the room laugh, and you're like, this is the golden standard of stand-up comedy right here.
Nice.
In terms of performance. Outside of stand-up, Eric was, he had a hard time, but, that's how it goes.
R.I.P. Passed away in 2021. 2021. A Kissimmee original. Shout out to a Florida original there. Nice. Eric Myers. Didn't see it coming. You threw me for a loop there, Mike. I like it.
Man.
Mike, well, first off, real quick, listeners, make sure you go see the show. Chuck Leavell. 9/17 is going to be a good show. It's going to be fun. You're going to get a lot. All the things we talked about, he's going to go in more detail. So there you go. Listeners, though, we need to move on to the fastest growing segment in the world.
Mike C, top 3.
Mike, when I started looking at this topic, it was too broad for me. I couldn't handle it. It was too much.
Yeah.
And so
I thought it was pretty Pacific.
No, it's very broad. And there's just so many movies out there. And then I was like, what kind of outfits am I going to do? So like, here's what I did, Mike. I did sort of like outfits that are like could be normal outfits. Like iconic outfits that like if you were wearing in the real world, people wouldn't necessarily think you're insane,
Yeah. Well,
like that's the kind. So like I stuck to that kind of outfit because there are like some things like in like Mad Max and stuff like that I'm like, well, that's wild. But like I just stuck to.
That's a good one. I like Mad Max. I forgot about those outfits.
So I just stuck to real world outfits. Now, do you have any honorable mentions?
Yeah, I have a couple.
Okay, I do too. We'll bounce them off of each other here. Now, my first one,
just two. This
is probably the most wild of all of mine. Like, this isn't a real like. You probably wouldn't wear this in real life, but Pamela Anderson barbed wire.
Oh, yeah.
That's just one of those. Outfit. First of all, oh, my Lord, right?
No, yeah, it's amazing.
My goodness. And then, just iconic. You see it. Think about it. Kim Kardashian dressed, was it Kim? is one of the Kardashians, dressed up as her in Barbed Wire like 30 years later, and everybody knew exactly what she was dressing up as. Like, there was no question of like, who's she being? Oh, no, it's Barbed Wire. It's Pamela Anderson. Amazing, man. Amazing. Shout out to Pamela Anderson dating old, what's his face now? Liam Nelson.
Liam Neeson, yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Anyways, Mike, what's your honorable mention?
Honorable mention was almost number one. I think originally it was number one, but
that was a real switch.
Once I thought some other outfits, I'm like, oh, whoa, no. But Ryan Reynolds' Blade Trinity.
Of course.
Leather jacket, like pants with the bulletproof vest underneath, and
I'll go ahead
his
and
whole
say,
getup is dope.
I know you love Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, Mom. Yeah,
I'll
for
go
sure.
ahead and say Wesley Snipes too, just Blade in general, because it's a very similar getup.
Yeah.
That he just has the big old trench coat. That sometimes he takes that giant trench coat off, but. Yeah, they were sleek looking in those movies, and it's sort of like it's sort of like I don't want to say a knockoff of Matrix, but it's in the similar line,
Yeah.
You're wearing black stuff. It's sleek. It's yeah. Looks good. My next honorable mention, Mike, another lady. I'm representing the ladies in this. Pretty Woman, Julia Roberts, red dress. When she's wearing the red dress, the white gloves, that's an iconic look.
Sweet.
That is an amazing look. That's like what you remember from Pretty Woman when she dresses up, when they take the hooker off of the streets and all of a sudden she looks amazing and she looks, to use the word, debonair, Mike. She is extremely debonair.
Good use.
Very impressive. But okay. Next honorable mention, Mike.
For me, a little bit of a deep cut. Maybe some people know the movie, but The Rocketeer. And I almost think like that superhero costume should be a whole nother top three.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've touched that one before, but I don't know if he was a superhero though, but his like Rocketeer outfit was kind of cool with the leather. Again, leather like top like jacket thing, and then he's got his his kind of almost World War like plane flyer pants with the boots. I don't know, it's just a cool outfit. Like
I went and saw that in theaters,
outfit.
Mike.
The Rocketeer,
back when I was a little tiny tyke.
Man,
I went and
great movie.
Went and saw that in theaters. I remember being let down by it, honestly.
Oh, really?
Well, just because, I remember it was following all these other great movies that I'd seen, like these big blockbusters, like the year previous. Because, I'd seen, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with my brother. I'd seen Batman, all these. And then this was, the big blockbuster of that year, which was 91. And I was like, I am 6 years old, and this is going to be amazing. And then because I'm 6 years old, it didn't hold my attention, really. I was just like, all right, I guess. He's flying around and stuff. Cool. I don't know. I'm sure if I went back, I haven't seen it. I don't think I've seen it since then. So I'm sure if I
One and done.
I'm sure if I went back and saw it, I'd be like, oh, it's a pretty good movie. But, for a 6-year-old me, it did not rope me in, But my last honorable mention, Mike, Tyler Durden in Fight Club, Brad Pitt. He's just wearing his 70s gear. He's usually got his leather jacket on, the button-up shirt. He's just looking very 70s. It's pretty iconic, and I like it. And if I could pull it off, I'd probably wear it all the time,
Yeah.
Okay. Top three. Here we go. Here's the actual top three. I feel like this one set the look until Miami Vice took over. And that would be, my number three would be Gordon Gekko in Wall Street. Talk about Charlie Sheen, shout out. Gordon Gekko, though, played by Michael Douglas. He was always dressed out to the nines, man. He had the amazing suspenders, the awesome tie, the Armani suits rolled up with the sleeves, the hair slicked back, and you're like, God, I want to make millions of dollars and be a that looks awesome.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah. And that one I did not see in theaters, Mike. I was too young. There was no way I'm seeing that one. I would have been like 1, I think. But, it was still just and I mean, that's the thing is even when I was growing up, you'd hear it all the time. Like in the 90s, you'd hear, what are you, Gordon Gekko? If you're like wearing, the super slick suit and you're like, maybe I am. Maybe I am that cool, So Gordon Gekko. There you go. Number 3, Mike.
This is so random, man. But when I was a kid, I thought Aladdin was really well dressed. What? Pretty random. But those pants are cool, man. I like the baggy pants. The little vest. I don't know, man.
Those
just
are
seems
MC
like a cool
Hammer
outfit.
pants right there.
They are MC Hammer pants. I wanted Aladdin style pants when I was a kid because I was like, we're kids. We're thinking we got to move a lot. We need to be able to do some.
You need some room in those pants.
Yeah, we need some room to maneuver, and those. Man, I like that outfit.
I just pulled it up right now, and those are definitely just MC Hammer pants.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, he is getting ready to say that you can't touch the hammer right there. That is, my goodness.
Pretty random.
If I'm wearing that outfit, Mike, I gotta work on the physique. I mean, you're just showing off the whole torso and chest there. That's a Young Bucks outfit right there. I don't know if I can pull that off. That's rough, but. It is a unique dress. It's good. It's good looking, Mike.
Unique outfit. Random one.
My number 2. Audrey Hepburn. Breakfast at Tiffany's. It's classic, man. For any lady, like I don't know how many times I have seen I have been when I was of age. I have been in a girls' dorm that had a picture of Audrey Hepburn in that dress. I don't know how many times I've been in a girl's house where they have a picture of that dress.
Yeah,
that black dress is iconic. Like that is the image of classiness and again debonair. Very, very, very debonair.
For sure.
And I was so intrigued by that. I watched the movie, Mike. And I got to be honest, not good. Not to go back to overrated movies, Mike, but honestly, well, again, that movie is supposed to be a comedy. And it's like a comedy of the early 60s. And literally every single joke, I'd be like, oh, that was a joke? Oh, I missed that. That was noted. I will write that down. Joke. Like, they were just, it's so dated. So dated.
Yeah.
And of course there were like 100 super racist things as well. There was there's supposed to be an Asian American character that's played by a complete white dude that they just make into the most horrible stereotypes ever. So, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. But the dress, iconic. So anyways, your number 2, Mike.
That's funny. Marty McFly, Back to the Future 2.
I saw that on some list, Mike, when I was trying to gather ideas. I did see.
You know what? I didn't look up. I didn't do any research. This was all from my own feelings and memories. Yeah.
I would be very surprised if there was a list with Aladdin and the Rocketeer, and those were the two that they were like, of course, like I believe you that you came up with this all on your own, Mike.
Hilarious, but yeah, and mostly for the sneakers. I mean, mostly for those Nike mags. I mean,
they're dope.
Yeah.
They're dope.
Cool. I could never wear them in real life. That whole outfit, obviously, but
it's something very hard to pull off. If
I had enough money, I would wear it, man.
Sure.
I mean, I would wear some Nike mags, and I wouldn't care. But
well, I mean, if you have enough money, who cares about anything?
It's too loud. Yeah, right.
You get there just doing whatever you want. Mike, my number one actually sort of falls into what you mentioned earlier, but I would honestly wear this, and I wouldn't have to be, like, too rich to wear this. Just give me the right occasion to wear it. And that would be the Joker's outfit in 1989 Batman. Jack Nicholson Joker. Like, the purple suit, the checkered pants, the hat, like, just dope, man. It's just cool. Like,
yeah.
Again, he just, like, to me, I get it. All you young bucks that love Heath Ledger, I understand. He played a great great Joker, but Jack Nicholson was just, you wanted to be him. You weren't scared of him. You were like, look at this evil jokester. He's awesome. Oh my God, he's so cool. Like, that's it, man. It's just, he was just dope in those pants and in that jacket and the hat. I wanted it all, Mike. I wanted it all. Anyway.
Yeah, that's a good outfit. I've actually never seen, like, yeah, that's a good outfit.
I mean, it's unique. It takes from the old Jokers, but it made it new and it made it more sort of like stylish than it was before. And the hat is just the thing that tops it off to me. I just love that hat because it's not like a top hat, but it's not like just like a cowboy hat or something. It's just like a dress hat of like the 40s.
Yeah.
And it's just dope. Just love it.
Good outfit, man.
Love it. And then, of course, I mean, it goes with it, of course, but having the actual Jack Nicholson smile, the insane-looking smile that is awesome. But,
yeah.
Anywho, you're number one, Mike.
All right, Doc G, kind of controversial, but I thought Neo from The Matrix had one of the best outfits. Like,
now, that was on some list, Mike. I know you didn't use
bad
list,
rep,
but
yeah, it's got a bad rep, and, you know, trench coats really, but...
well, it's like I said earlier. I mean, it fits like you were thinking about number one with Blade Trinity. I mean, you know, it's sleek. I think it's cool. I'm with you, Mike.
You know, and then how it looks in all the fight scenes, and it's just with the black glasses. I don't know. It's sort of like cool.
It's sort of like Kevin Hart always, makes the joke about Samuel L. Jackson flapping the coat. Like, that's, you got a big old trench coat to flap.
Yeah, it's good. It's
good stuff.
Good for
I agree.
Accentuating, the situation for sure.
So, I like it, Mike. I like it. Well done, Neo.
Thanks.
Well done, Mike. Okay, we are going to move on to next week. We talked about it. You gave me the run through. I will give you a heads up. Might not be next week. I might not have time next week, but maybe next week I'll have a whole new batch of top threes. We'll see. It'll be either next week or the week after next. But you gave me the run through for this coming week. Your idea, top 3 cookies.
Yeah, I can't believe we haven't covered this one, but top 3 cookies.
I think there's going to be no surprise on my number one, but we'll see. Okay, top 3 cookies for next week. Mike, we have 2 birthday suits left. I think you got one, and I'm pretty positive you don't have the other. Which one do you want? The one that you don't have or the one you have?
The one that I don't have.
Okay. Born on September 3rd, 2001. We're working with a young buck here, Mike. Los Angeles, California. Our birthday suit wearer's mom is Cindy Crawford. Birthday suit wearer followed in her mom's footsteps, and by the age 10, she was already modeling for Versace. She won Model of the Year at the British Fashion Awards in 2018. She has modeled for just about every major clothing company you can think of. She has recently started some small acting roles. She first appeared in the movie Bottoms, and last year she was in the Apple TV series Palm Royale. And she made a cameo appearance in Saturday Night Live. Name that birthday suit wearer.
No idea.
Yeah. Mike, I had no idea either. But you know what? for our Young Buck listeners, I was like, let's throw this in. I need to know some of these folks, you know? So this is Kaya Gerber, Mike. Kaya Gerber. Yeah. Side note, Mike, who do you think Kaya dated in 2019? Take a stab. Who dates a lot of attractive models?
Yeah, the area. Pete.
Yes, that's correct. Pete who?
It was Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson is correct. So you didn't get the birthday suit, but you did guess who she was dating at one point in time. My God, that dude has dated every single effing model in the world. What the It's ridiculous. Jeez.
Now Ariana Grande gave him the stamp of approval, or whoever. Maybe he had. Maybe there was somebody.
I don't know, man. He's got the juice. He doesn't need a stamp of approval. It was just he's out there, just being juicy, you know. But anyways, now he's a dad. Now he's got. But Kaya Gerber, you're never gonna believe this, Mike. But a lady that won Model of the Year, and her mom is Cindy Crawford. She's attractive.
Oh yeah. She is
pretty wild, right? Who would have thought?
Yeah, I can't believe it.
She's making a living as a model somehow. I don't know, just eking her way. And
I don't get it. Yeah.
There are definitely some pictures where you see her that you're like, holy crap, she's exactly Cindy Crawford.
Yeah,
and
then
there are some where she changes though, and you're like, oh okay, she does not look exactly like her mom, but. There's definitely a ton of Cindy Crawford in there for sure. But anyways, hopefully she gets it done in the old acting career once she started that, you know. So shout out to Kaya Gerber. There we go. I'm guessing it's Gerber, by the way. That's the only way I would spell that name. Maybe I'm completely wrong.
I don't think there's a Gerber.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And I mean that's the only way I would pronounce her name too, as far as Kaya, right? Would it be Kaya?
Yeah.
I don't think it's Kaya.
It could be.
So again, guys.
K-A-I-A. Yeah.
She's a young buck. I don't know. I gotta be updated on these things. I think I'm saying it right. Anywho, Mike, are you ready for the one that I think you can get? Here we go.
Yes.
Born on September 3rd, 1986 in San Diego, California. Our birthday suit wearer started out skateboarding and surfing. Started talking to Tony Hawk when he was just 9 years old, and Tony helped him turn pro when he was 16. At the same time he was competing in skateboarding, he was competing also in snowboarding. He's gone on to win 3 gold medals, and as a 5-time Olympian, he has 15 gold medals in the X Games, 13 in snowboarding, and 2 in skateboarding. He has 11 ESPY awards, and he is one of the most accomplished snowboarders of all time. Has red hair. Name that birthday suit wearer.
Shaun White.
Shaun White is correct. Thought you'd get that one, Mike. You're skating past and whatnot. Figured you would remember old Shaun White. He's a pretty notable guy. He was sort of all over the place. Early 2000s, my gosh. That guy was just all over the place, you know?
Yeah, he was killing it.
And, I mean, good Lord. Put him on a board. It doesn't matter what type of board. It can be a skateboard.
Yeah, he was like one of the first guys, it seems, that was able to be really good at both snowboarding and skateboarding.
He was a good surfer. Like, he never did it like, competition, but he'd go out there and just cut those waves up like crazy, man. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, when you think about it, of course, there's all kinds of overlap between the three. It would make sense,
Didn't he also, do racing?
Yeah, I think so. I think there was some kind of other, competition that he was doing. I don't remember exactly.
Not racing,
Hold on.
But, yeah, some kind of,
I'm going to check it out real quick, Mike. I'm checking it out. I just Googled Shaun White racing.
I thought it was...
he has explored professional rally racing, Mike.
Rally racing, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Rally driver. That was back in the early teens was when he was checking that out. I'm going to guess he's given that up nowadays. But, So there you go. Shaun White. Happy birthday to Shaun White. One more year in his 30s, Mike. He's got to live it up. One more year in his 30s. Live it up, Sean. Enjoy it, man. All right, Mike, that is it for this week. We need to wrap it up, but I have been your host, Doc G. With me, as always, the one, the only, Mikey Maximus, the Fernicus, Charette.
Always a pleasure, Doc G. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, and until next week, zip it up and zip it out.
Zippity-doo-dah.